Hello, my name is Richard X, otherwise known as Richard Davidson. This is my week 2 video of Learn to Program Crafting Quality Code. Last week, I covered the palindrome problem, my 3 versions of the 3 algorithms provided by the teachers to solve the palindrome problem, to see or define a function that will tell us if a word is a palindrome. This week, I will be covering the doctest way of testing a function, going over the main program. I will show you the basics of classes or types, and mostly I will be showing you the unit test way of testing. I was a little bit confused at first for that, but I managed to find out in the end. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to highlight what we're going to do today. In the testing automatically using doctest, we're going to cover the doctest. We're going to use the doctest .test mod, which basically tells you if anything's wrong with your function, and it's very incredibly useful. So we're gonna have that. And sorry for my drawing. Writing a main, so we're gonna have if so right now if you have 2 lines and name, name, it will return either main. So that's name right there. It will either return main or it will return the name of your module if you imported it. Creating your own types, we're just going to go over classes. So that's all we're going to do for that. For unit tests, however, I'm not going to be able to write it in those little spaces. Man, I'm looking back and my handwriting is so terrible. Oh well. So the unit test I'm actually going to show you right now. So I wrote out this whole entire thing, and for you to understand this class and all of these functions, you'll have to look at my original code. So this is vowels.py. It has 2 functions in it, but I'm going to ignore the first one, so just look at the second. Define return consonants. It returns a list with all of the consonants in S. There will be no repeating elements. If there are no consonants, it will return there are no consonants. And one thing you might see that's different from all of my other videos is that I actually followed the design recipe, wrote out the examples, put up a description, and put up a type contract. The reason is, after watching the week 2 videos, I realized that the examples are not just there for other people to understand what your code is. Who's going to look at it? But Python actually does have things where they go into this giant string here, and they extract the examples and use them, as shown in doctest. So in this code, I'm going to define 2 variables, an empty list, and there are no consonants. This message here is going to be printed when there is no consonants in the string. For the for loop, it has for character and S. If character is not in the vowel string, that means if it's a consonant, and it's not in the consonant list, so there will be no repeating elements. And character is not equal to empty string, and character is not equal to empty string. That just makes sure that it's not going to put in empty strings into that list. So let's quickly run it, and we're going to save it really quickly here. Put it up to the left, and we're going to import doctest. So this is how you do it. First you have to import it, and you do doctest.test mod as I showed before. And probably most of you know from the videos. It will return 1 line. It has test results, fail equals 0, attempt equal to 8. And if there is any failures, it will have more than 1 line. I've checked my code over and over and over again, so that's why it has no errors. Doctest is really good. I think I like it way better than unit test. Unit test just takes way too much work. Now on to unit test. Unit test actually holds everything that I wanted to show you. So it has import unit test, which as the teacher said, you need in any unit test PY. Import the vowels, so it's importing this file right here. It's going to have a class. So a class is basically a new type. And in a type, it's basically saying test vowels is your own type, just as string, boolean, list is a type. And this is a breeze for all of us that have taken the Introduction to Interactive Programming in Python class. We've done so much with classes. So hello to everybody out there. All of these functions are just testing each example inside return consonants. So basically, in here, I'm going to have an actual variable, expected variable, and I'm gonna make sure that these two are equal using the self.assert equal. Actual is equal to vowels.return consonants, the empty string, so it is the first string right here. And expected is equal to there are no consonants. So basically, it's going to return this, and if it's true, it's going to work. So let's run this unit test thing, and it's going to say, oh, failures. Failures equal 2. So we're going to look inside this fail, and we're going to say none is equal to there are no consonants. So what's wrong here is that these strings, expected is equal to, oh yes, expected is equal to there are no consonants. What we need to do is go into this code, and we're going to take this print statement out, and we're going to return none message. So instead of printing it, where it will return just this, it's going to return it with these string marks, and we're gonna correct it in the examples. So that's, I guess unit test is very good because the doc test actually didn't find that error, but then the unit test found the error. So if you're working on a great project and you want to make sure there's absolutely no errors whatsoever, it's probably better to use this this unit test method. So now that it's corrected, we're gonna save this, and we're going to run the old unit test again. So let's run it, save it, and 4 dots, ran 4 tests in 0.024 seconds, and it's okay. So we're all good. So let's go look at the test vowels class closer. So going back to this page, we've already covered doc test. We need to look at the main program. So let's go do that. Down here is basically the main program. As shown in the videos, inside any file or your idle, when you call that file on itself without importing it, so it's that own file, it will return main for name. So its name is actually main. So this is saying that this only works if you are in this file alone. If you're importing it from another file, it won't work. So if name is equal to main, and it is, unit test.main exit equals false. And I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I guess just keep with the code, stick with it. Don't really need to understand it to use it, but I think that just means that it's just going to test the function or these functions. Okay, next is the creating your own types. Basically, that's all the class test vowels is. Your test vowels is going to be a subclass of the unit test.test case, and most classes have a program with something like this, def main or something like that. But we don't need it in this case because we're just using it as a unit test case, so it's alright. The fourth thing is testing automatically using unit tests. So this is basically doing it. All it does is running each of these things, and when a self.asserts equals, it wants to make sure that's true. And it's true, 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 running 4 examples, and they're all okay. The fifth one, you choosing test cases, basically what that is making sure that for a function, such as return consonants, you need to have something with it empty to see what happens when you have empty, something that will return no consonants, something that will return some consonants, and someone that will return lots of consonants. In the first function that I have here, I also use that kind of method, and making sure that all of my test cases are actually good. The Python will return true. Intensive will also return true because both of these have vowels in it. The pft and the empty string, however, they don't. So I'm having 2 false cases and 2 true cases. So it's working out perfectly. The very last thing is testing functions that mutate values, and that was really simple. All we did was just using the functions and using what we've learned. So basically, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't saw my palindrome problem week 1 video, be sure to look at that on the forums. And stay tuned for my week 3 and for my weeks to come. Goodbye and have a good day.